The Burswood Redbacks, number 5, Gillian Henry. Number 6, Natalie Harris. Number 7, Christine Boyd, who's come off a great year so far this year and will be looking to go one step better and take their grand final home. Number 8, Jenny Bedford. Number 9, Kylie Amiot. Number 10, Brooke Goddard. Number 11, Kay McMillan. Number 15, Melissa Dunn. Number 21, Martine Pimman, who has come back after her exclusion from the Willetton Series. Number 22, very important for their team, Helen Vlahov. Number 25, providing some valuable minutes off the bench, Sarah Thompson. And number 42, their absolute engine room and top scorer for the season, Brooke Hiddleston. Moving on to the Perry Lakes Lady Hawks. Number 4, Tanya Kelly. Number 8, Kim Morecambe. Number 9, Pries Drew. Number 10, Katie Reid. Number 15, Helen Polinelli. Number 6, who will possibly have the tough assignment defending Jenny Bedford tonight, will be number 6, Tegan Walker. Number 7, Nadine Amez. Number 11, the youngster who is developing well and coming along and will be a big thing in the SBL the next few years. Number 11, Cherie Graziotti. Number 12, Kelly McGee. Number 13, co-captain of the Breakers last year and will be I believe, the co-captain of the new WNBL team here in Perth. Number 13, Melissa McClure. Number 14, Chelsea Boynich. Number 22, Kate Simkovich, who is just overcoming having her appendix taken out 2 weeks ago, so playing time for her tonight could be doubtful. And number 23, Sean Gray.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Perry Lakes Stadium for Stickbacks Grand Final Edition. Tonight is the WSBL final between the Perry Lakes Lady Hawks and the Burswood Redbacks. Now, joining me this evening as a special guest in commentary for his first edition ever of Stickback is Lucas Carey. Lucas, good evening. What can we expect from tonight's clash?
Tonight will be a very tough game between the Redbacks and the Hawks, with the Lady Hawks coming off quite an easy run to get to the grand final. They passed over Rockingham fairly easily, did the same with Coburn. Now come up against the defending champions, Redbacks. Redbacks had not such an easy run through. They had to go past, last round they had to go past Willetton in 3 very tough games, and that's going to take a lot out of them. So tonight's game should be pretty interesting.
Well, it really is a star-studded lineup for both teams. So we'll get you to run through the rosters for both teams now. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Stickback Special Grand Final Edition. Tonight's game is the WSBL Women's Final between the Perry Lakes Hawks and the Burswood Redbacks. Now, tonight as a special guest in commentary, we have Lucas Carey, who is our women's basketball expert. It's great to have you along, Lucas. Welcome to Stickback, and we can expect a pretty good game tonight, can't we?
Absolutely. With the calibre of these two teams is sensational. We have the Lady Hawks, who have come off a relatively easy run through to the finals. They ran over Rockingham fairly easily, then went over Coburn in 2, but tonight they come up against the defending champions, Redbacks. The Redbacks didn't have such an easy run through. They came up against Willetton in the last round, dropped the game, went through a very physical series, so I think that might take their toll on these guys tonight, so it should be interesting.
Yes, it's definitely going to be a very tough game. Now, we'll get you to run through the team rosters for both teams. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the special edition of Stickback, the Grand Final Edition. Tonight is the WSBL Women's Grand Final between the Perry Lakes Lady Hawks and the Burswood Redbacks. Now, joining me in commentary is our special guest commentator, Lucas Carey. Lucas, what can we expect tonight from this game?
Tonight's going to be a very, very tough encounter with a couple of great teams teeing off tonight. We have the Perry Lakes Hawks, who have gone through a relatively easy run to get to the finals, rolled over Rockingham very, very easily, then went through and delivered quite a touch-up to Coburn. Now they've moved on and they face the Redbacks. The Redbacks have had more of a tough series through. They played against Willetton in the last round, dropped the game. The series was very, very physical. So I don't know how much that's going to take out of the Redbacks, so tonight should be interesting.
Now let's take the time to look through the rosters for both teams. Alrighty. So we've got 10, where are we? 10. We've got Goddard is 10, 42 is Hiddlestone, 9 is Amiette. Okay. So they've got Melissa taking the jump. Okay, straight after tip-off, talk about the defence. And at the tip-off, and Perry Lakes come up with it first off, and let's see what they settle back into.
Looking at our matchups here, we've got Hiddleston defending McClure straight away, which was as expected. McGee defending Christine Boyd. And it is Walker against Bedford. Wasn't sure what that was going to happen, but it should be interesting to see how that goes for the rest of the night.
And out of bounds now, and it's going to still stay as a Redbacks ball.
Redbacks on the baseline have been running a lot of work, a lot of stuff with moving the ball to the weak side where it's come from and sending someone through. They've just done that with Christine Boyd, and they'll look to do that all night on the baseline.
Bedford on a nice penetration move there. She's going to go to the line. No line shot there. It's going to be a side ball. So Bedford getting off on the right foot there with some early dribble penetration. And the Redbacks will inbound it. Now, what sort of offense can we expect from the Burswood team here, Lucas?
The Redbacks run a lot of guard to big screening, a lot of diagonal screening, which gets Boyd, Hiddleston some shots on the inside, such as that, where we're looking to get Hiddleston on the inside. Now that forms a lot of trouble there for defences, because if they do switch, it's a big against the little, and it's hard to defend on the inside.
So still no score, 9 minutes 20 left in the first quarter.
I think the key to tonight's game is the ability of the Redbacks to hold the guards up, as Jenny Bedford is doing now, and stop the Perry Lakes Hawks from running the floor.
Kelly at the point for Perry Lakes. And another turnover, and Burswood come up with it again. Perry Lakes starting a little bit out of sync offensively. They like to get out and run, don't they?
Absolutely, and I think the loss of Kate Simkovich due to having an appendix operation will hurt them immensely. Kelly McGee, number 12, has been playing some quality minutes, but you lose a starter who started most of the games of the season. It's pretty tough.
Bedford on a penetration move. The basket counted. So is there after the shot, or was it during the shooting motion? We're going to have, 2 shots? That basket must not have counted.
I think Jenny might be a touch lucky there. Walker looked like she had pretty good defensive position.
She did, didn't she? Yeah.
Bedford has a habit of doing that. She's got a very, very quick first step. She takes people off the dribble fast, but there ain't too many good defenders such as Tegan Walker in the league. There's a couple of others, one playing for Willetton and one also playing for Coburn, but other than that, there ain't too many others around.
Bedford makes 1 of 2 from the line. Melissa McClure comes up with the ball and decides to take over the dribbling duties for that trip up the court. Now it looks like we've got a post play coming up here. McClure from about 20 feet on the sideline. Can't come up with it, and it looks like Boyd with the rebound. And she's managed to maintain possession. Looks like she got stripped down the front there, but the Redbacks maintain possession, and Bedford brings it up for the Burswood Redbacks.
This should be one of the diagonal screening actions we're talking about here, where we're looking to get Bedford coming off that, or a guard coming off to Hiddleston.
Morecambe on the steal, but they can't convert on the layup. A bit of controversy there. Bedford not liking the call.
Might have missed the first travel by McGee and picked up the second one by Bedford.
So Perry Lakes not able to get their vaunted running game going as yet. Although nice penetration move there.
Great defence by the Redbacks. Great defence.
And they've got a runner if they spot it, but they haven't.
That's what Christine Boyd brings to the Redbacks team, is her ability to rotate out on people shooting the three, to be able to block that shot, change shots, and just make it tough for people to play, to get into a rhythm. She's blocked that shot, got a piece of it, the ball's been outlet, and now the Redbacks in an opportunity at half court.
Yeah, Amy had that opportunity to get that ball to Boyd, but just didn't see her in time, and by the time she saw her, the opportunity had gone. Boyd with an attempt there, can't come up with it.
Running the floor again, the Perry Lakes Hawks.
Oh, McClure with a tough basket inside. And that's the first score in the game, and we've played, what have we got? We've played 3.5, 4 minutes. So we're finally away in this grand final. Bedford on penetration. Kicks it out. Might be a jump shot at the top of the key there for Boyd. Yes.
That's money. That is money for Christine Boyd. She is one of the best big players to shoot from just outside the foul line in this competition.
McClure staying up top and now going down low. She's the real danger for Perry Lakes. Big block shot from Boyd inside, but looks like there was some sort of body contact there, and there's going to be a 2-shot foul.
Once again, Christine Boyd looking to change shots, make things tough. Tegan Walker is a pure driver. He's very, very reluctant to shoot from the outside, and with Christine Boyd changing things inside, it's going to make it a long night for her.
Natalie Harris makes the first of 2 shots.
Bedford looking to advance the ball left-hand side of the floor. This usually means a 2-man game. It's inside to Boyd. Watch her go baseline here on this movement. There she goes, baseline up and unders.
And Kelly maintaining point guard duties here for Perry Lakes. McClure still staying up high, and now she'll move down low.
Pretty good defense there. Kim Morecambe is a great advocate for penetrate and dish, but she on that occasion got inside deep, caused the defense to play her and got a score.
Well, there had to be a player open there for Burswood because there was a double team at half court. They're just not able to find the open player. And in the broken play, they still managed to come up with the ball.
This will be some high-low work here with their 2 bigs. That's, again, bread and butter for Brooke Hiddleston on the turnaround. She has dominated the last final series against Lillard, and I think she had a 30-point game. And she's tough. She's a great scorer.
Outside jump shot, very short, but offensive rebound inside. It looks like that was Kim Morecambe inside there. So 7-5 to score. Perry Lakes by 2. 5 minutes 55 left in the first quarter. Boyd inside looking to go to work. Settles for a 15-foot baseline jumper and cans it. Very strong shooter from that range.
Now, Coach Rick Morecambe with the Perry Lakes Hawks, he needs to be a little bit concerned right here at this point in time. Christine Boyd's hit her last 2 jump shots. She's a very, very streaky shooter. If she gets on, she can be very, very tough to defend.
Melissa McClure on a hard drive with the left hand, got fouled and will go to the line for 2. Chance to give Perry Lakes the lead back. Still a very even contest at this stage of the game, Lucas.
Yes, I mean, both coaches probably and most of the players still trying to find their feet here. Being a grand final, the whole season comes down to this. Is that, players such as Boyd, such as McClure, such as Bedford, who have been around the league for a long, long time, they're going to get themselves set first. It's going to be the younger ones that are going to take a little bit longer.
McClure converts both foul shots. And it looks like they're going into some sort of trap. Oh, very, very close there. Hiddleston goes down into the low post looking for it. But they haven't given her a lot of the ball early on. Haven't been able to get it to her. Boyd got stripped from behind and they called a foul.
Reason for that foul right there is that Christine Boyd, being so deadly from just above that free throw area, Melissa McClure on the closeout, had to play her hard for that shot. Closed out, Boyd put it on the floor. McClure not quick enough to respond.
Bedford looking to penetrate on the left. Can't find anything. Very good defence there by Tegan Walker. But inside, and Burswood are still hanging in there. They're sticking around. And a steal now, but out of court. So Kylie Amiot wasn't able to keep that ball in on that sideline. And but excellent defence there by Kylie.
Brooke Kittleson again causing some headaches right here for the Perry Lakes Hawks. She on the inside's doing a great job. We're looking at a flex cut here with Morecambe coming off this and a down screen for Tanya Kelly. The ball goes into the first option.
Bedford took a walk there. He's got a bit of a running start.
That is something in a chat I had with Jenny Bedford yesterday we were talking about is Jenny has a bad habit in regards to that, and I know a lot of players that play against her tend to be a little bit concerned with the amount of steps she does get away with. But keep your eye on that for the rest of the night, and we'll see if the referees continue to pick that up.
Turnaround baseline jumper from McClure is no good, and Bedford's starting to run, looking to run, which is where she's most deadly, but picked up a dribble and will pay the ultimate price at the other end through Tanya Kelly, who made a tough driving layup there. And yeah, you just don't want to pick up your dribble in that backcourt. But Kelly's been called for the foul there. Perry Lakes bench not exactly thrilled with that.
Tanya Kelly has a habit of doing that. She can be one of the greatest defensive players in this competition, but occasionally she loses concentration and decides either to reach in or put that a little bit of extra pressure that it responds and ends up being a foul.
Amy a little bit short on the first.
Look for Perry Lakes to run off this rebound if they get this.
Oh, and a tough steal from Bedford. Can't quite keep it in bounds though. So it'll be Perry Lakes ball. 4 minutes 11 left in the first quarter. The score is 11-9 in favour of Perry Lakes Lady Hawks.
Perry Lakes at this point in time have had 4 different players running the point for them. That's one thing with all the depth they do have. One thing they do lack is a true controlling point guard. Jenny Bedford has that. The Burswood Redbacks have that with Jenny Bedford.
Morecambe on a wonderful cut there. Just a simple interior pass from Melissa McClure, and she's I tell you what, she's a wonderful player, McClure. A wonderful all-round game. You look at those statistics that she's been able to put up, score-wise, assist-wise. I think she's highest in steals as well in that category, and it's daylight second in terms of the steals statistic. Yeah, it's just a wonderful all-round game.
Absolutely. Melissa McClure was the co-captain of the Perth Breakers last year, and I would probably imagine, depending upon the newly appointed head coach, Rick Morecambe, I would imagine that she could possibly be co-captain of the new women's WNBL team here in Perth. The new WNBL season starting in approximately 3 weeks' time. The new name and colours to be launched on October 5.
So the second shot made, 13-9. The Lady Hawks lead Burswood. Hiddleston picks it up at 10 feet out, goes into a little post up. Oh, big mismatch inside if she can get it, but she makes the pass to Boyd. Boyd a little short, McClure's in there for the rebound. Bedford tries to get it to come back off Morecambe and can't get it to happen there. But Boyd has settled it down there for Burswood.
Helen Vlahov's checked into the game.
A sloppy interior pass from Hiddleston there. And away comes Tanya Kelly. Morecambe at the three-point line decides against it. McClure for 3. Not her strongest suit. She's about 30% from that range. But Perry Lakes have maintained it. I think Burswood would be happy to let Melissa take those shots from there. Not the strongest part of her game.
Especially where she took that three-point shot from. I mean, Melissa McClure is a great shooter, but when it gets to a step outside the three-point line, Melissa and most other players in the league will struggle.
Timeout with 3:17 left in the first quarter. Good job. I was starting to get it, yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
I have no idea who these girls are. It was.
Mate, no dramas, mate. No dramas.
Maybe not. Yes. Probably could. Lucas can get us in.
That's all right. Into the game.
Yeah. We want to actually see how they do it all.
Depends if Channel 2 takes it or not. If Channel 2 takes it, I don't know how you might be able to do it. I don't know.
So Perry Lakes ball at the baseline. Morecambe with it. Skip pass across the top to Kelly. Kelly from about 18 feet can't convert, and Boyd rebounds it. And boy, is she a force under there, Lucas.
I'm liking Christine Boyd's game so far tonight. She's been pretty solid defensively, and she's starting to become a pretty tough threat in the offensive end to play against. Brooke Hiddleston set great screens all night, getting players open.
Nice step through from Bedford. Bedford just a little fake, step under move, and just an easy score inside. And the Redbacks are within 2. 13 Perry Lakes lead, Redbacks 11. 2:46 left in the first period.
At this point in time, I actually honestly think that they probably need to get someone along the lines of Katie Reid in the game. Katie Reid comes in as one of the best three-point shooters in the competition. I think possibly a substitution for Tanya Kelly might help out Perry Lakes right here.
Boyd at the top of the key. Gets it back on a nice interior pass. Tough shot, hits the side of the backboard. Boyd wanted a foul on that, but nothing doing there. Tanya Kelly brings it up. Gives it across to Walker. Walker across the top to McClure. Shot from Kim Walker, a bit from very far out. Tough shot to make. And Bedford trying to get some sort of control back into the Redbacks offense.
The Redbacks spacing at this point in time is not too bad. However, I like to see their wing players getting a little bit wider out to be able to make the inside interior pass a little bit more effectively.
Bedford managed to pick up that pass that looked like it was fractionally deflected. And Burswood bring it down again. Boyd at the top of the key. Brooke Goddard in for the Redbacks. And Boyd looking to go to work down low again. McClure with a tough rebound, no, not tough rebound, uncontested rebound I should say. Morecambe on a long fast break, but not able to get that score. And Goddard marshals the forces for the Redbacks. That turned out to be a pretty tough shot for Boyd there. She found herself surrounded by, had the defender coming out to her there.
I think it's time for Christine Boyd to come out. Christine Boyd's a great player, but I think that possibly a few minute rest period here, 1 minute 15 left. Possibly Sarah Thompson, who's up there in the league in regards to shooting from the floor, could be an option.
McGee with a nice 10-footer there. And that makes the score 13-14. Burswood actually in front here. So with a minute to go in the first quarter, they've managed to get the lead away from Perry Lakes.
Defense sinking off a little bit here from Perry Lakes, stepping off their players, letting them stick it on the floor, being very wary of that inside play.
Really tough foul there. Helen Vlahov really dropping the hammer.
Helen Vlahov is well known for her physical play. Nothing dirty about that. Helen just comes out, she plays hard, and she's a veteran of this league.
And a timeout to Perry Lakes with 47 seconds left in the first quarter. 15 points to 13, Perry Lakes by 2.
Oh, really?
He's full on, mate. He's starting to get better. He's getting better now.
Boyd goes to the bench. Sarah Thompson does come back in again. So it still gives them those twin tower options there with Thompson and Hiddleston. I actually wouldn't mind, and I saw it in the last series they played, I actually wouldn't mind seeing Hiddleston playing at the 3, possibly Thompson at the 4, and also Boyd at the 5 to go with 3 bigs, with Hiddleston being able to step out to the outside.
Well, Thompson is an incredibly efficient performer, the highest field goal percentage in the WSBL. She doesn't take a lot of shots, but the shots she takes, she makes.
Absolutely. And we've got some subs here. Interesting to see here. We've got Kate Simkovich checking in. Actually, no, she's not. She's going back to the bench. The sub obviously wasn't checked in early enough, but Kate Simkovich, who has had her appendix taken out 2 weeks ago, was not suspected to play. She usually starts in place of Kelly McGee, but she looks like she's going to check in and play some minutes tonight, which is good for Hoover.
And Katie Reid is in for the Perry Lakes Lady Hawks also. Forces Bedford there to pick up a dribble, and Bedford's going to try and post her up. Tries a little step around. Oh, there was a pass there, but it just was a little bit low and down by the knees, and we've got a jump ball.
The Perry Lakes Hawks, I would be concerned with that matchup. Katie Reid is a good defender, but Katie Reid is not as quick as Jenny Bedford, as there is no one in the league who is as quick as Jenny Bedford, but I don't think that she's going to be able to sustain the defensive intensity that's needed to shut Jenny Bedford down.
McGee is going to contest the jump with Helen Vlahov, and the Redbacks come up with it. It's only 20 seconds left in this first quarter. Skip pass right across the width of the court. crossed about 3 or 4 lanes of passing. Not the one the coaches advocate. Helen Vlahoff whips it into Hiddleston. Hiddleston with a tough shot off the glass, can't score. And it's off to Melissa McClure. And now it's off again to Tegan Walker on the run, on the left hand, can't score. 3 seconds, is there time for a shot? Probably not here. Bedford was unaware of the clock anyway, so at quarter time, the Perry Lakes Ladyhawks lead by 4, 17 points to 13. Right now, our good friend will be running our stats up to us.
Okay, and then we go through that. Gotcha, okay.
Right now, here will be
With the women, 4-12s with the men.
Okay, all right.
Say those from the red down there looking very appealing. Before
but it's not full. It's not full.
This is my boss. The guys over here.
Oh, you poor bugger.
That's my boss and a couple of directors of Zone Sport, that sort of stuff. Mate, I wanted to do it, mate. Shit, I'm happy.
You do it well.
Doing all right?
You do it well.
I did commentated. We did the sports announcing for half a dozen of the Breakers games last year. I love the shit, mate. I love
This
it.
is so much class. People have to listen to it. Well, look what we got. How's that shoulder of Melissa McClure, eh?
Melissa McClure.
So the second quarter is underway, and the Redbacks come up with an early possession. Lucas, you've got some quarter time stats there for us.
Some interesting things that have gone on in the first half. Kim Morecambe leading scorer for Perry Lakes with 6 points. Melissa McClure with 4. Also on the rebounding, Kelly McGee with 4 rebounds in the first quarter. The thing that's concerning me at the moment with both teams is the turnover pattern. As we see another one just then, we had 6 in the first quarter, straight up front for Perry Lakes, 8 in the first quarter for the Redbacks. The likely campaigners scoring Hiddleston and Boyd 6 and 4 apiece in the second half, in the first quarter.
Well, 8 turnovers in a quarter is a staggering amount of turnovers. I mean, you extrapolate that out and you've got over 30 by the end of the game, so no team would be happy with that. But Perry Lakes running, they're getting that running game going, and that can't augur well for Burswood.
It still seems to me right now that neither team has really settled into a good pattern. There's still things going on the board, but that would normally be a running score there for Perry Lakes.
And interesting to see that Perry Lakes have brought on Simkovic.
Yeah, Simkovic replacing McGee. She does look a little bit proppy.
Morecambe with a nice dribble penetration move, which drew the defence, and then the dish off to Katie Reid for the easy 15-foot jump shot. So that's the start of that running game that we were talking about.
Katie Reid is a scorer in this league. She can come out and score a good 15 points a game. She's not going to be a leading scorer in any team in the competition, but is quite deadly behind the three-point line, is very, very effective on those little jump shots.
Melissa McClure gets picked up for a foul there, stepping out to try and guard Gillian Hendry.
Thompson and Henry both taken from the court. Christine Boyd to return. Hiddleston probably will need a break shortly, although Brooke is quite fit.
Boyd certainly drawing some attention down there on the low block. And on the high block. Take your pick. She's a real force inside, taking up a lot of space. Bedford on a tough move inside. Great score. 19-13. Perry Lakes by, 19-15. Perry Lakes by 4. 8 minutes left in the first half.
Jenny Bedford is definitely one of the best players in the league. In my pick is, I would say, the best player in the league and definitely the best point guard in the league, and a tough defensive job for anybody who is playing against her because she is so quick.
Looking for Simkovic inside, can't find her. She does look to be labouring a little bit, Lucas.
I think, surely coming out of hospital only 2 weeks ago, getting an appendix out is a pretty major operation, and it's actually surprising me to even see her on the floor, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not exactly something you'd choose to happen before a big game. Boyd on another tough step through. Tough deflection. Vlahov comes up with it. Hiddleston in the post.
Got to look to Hiddleston here.
You've got to look at it, haven't you? Massive mismatch. And there you go. Boyd inside. Should score from there or be fouled. And she is.
Brooke Hiddleston is such a big target on the inside. She gets things done. She does the 1 and 2 percenters now. I believe that she's in the new WNBL squad also. If she does get the chance to play National League this year, they're going to be relying on her to get some of the 1 percenters in the garbage time. You know, those offensive, defensive rebounds that she does so well.
The Lady Hawks have made a substitution. Prees Drew has come on.
Prees brings two major things to the court at this point in time. She is an absolute deadly three-point shooter. So Coach Morecambe here going with offense by bringing Drew in instead of Walker, who was providing some defense.
Looking to look for a screen roll using Melissa McClure there. But there's that pitch out. Baseline shot's gone over the backboard. And Burswood have come up with it through Bedford.
Look, Bedford will take Reid off the dribble here.
Boyd at the high post. And down at the low post is Hiddleston. Deflection, McClure not happy. She thought that she should have come up with the ball there.
Coach Abe Kassab from the Redbacks in his first grand final as head coach. He's looking a little bit concerned over there. He could be looking for answers to their lack of offense at this point in time.
And Bedford looked like she was fouled there. So the foul has gone on Katie Reid. Oh, tied up really hard there. Bedford in there. Managed to get her hands on it, but not before a Lady Hawk had the hands on as well. It was Prees Drew, so she's into the game early.
She is. They, as we said, is that Coach Morecambe has decided to go with offense.
Morecambe shapes for the lab and scores, and is fouled. And we'll get the chance to go and convert the three-point play.
I don't think there was any reason that Helen Vlahov needed to foul that. I think that she could have quite easily gotten across, taken that, covered that off. Surely it would have been tough to stop her from defending that, but a reach-in foul is always a soft one. If you're going to foul there, you're going to make sure that thing is not going in the hole.
Morecambe can't convert, and Boyd picks up the easy rebound. Bedford really does have a handle on that ball, doesn't she? Vlahov inside to Hiddleston. They've got McClure on Hiddleston, showing Hiddleston a lot of respect. Simkovic with the rebound.
Redback spacing this last few minutes, not great at all. Very, very stand-still-ish.
Katie Reid connects from long range, although not quite three-point territory. And the Lady Hawks have got it out to a 21-17 lead, 6 minutes and 7 left in the second quarter.
I'd be extremely concerned right here. The Redbacks are taking some very, very bad shots, making some bad shot selection. And when you do that, you leave Katie Reid open. You leave players open on the full court running game, and it's going to be along for a long night if you do that.
Let's see if Jenny Bedford can set some structure up for the Redbacks. Looking for Helen Vlahov inside in the post. She is double teamed immediately. Boyd slides down. They're very heavy on this side. Hiddleston just has to throw something up. And great defence there from the Lady Hawks, and they're getting some run out of defence now.
I don't think they're looking at Christine Boyd enough here, as Brooke Hiddleston in the last 4 possessions has faced up against Melissa McClure, has very, very long arms and is quite a good defensive player.
Simkovic scores inside, showing the ball to 2 or 3 defenders and then converting. We've got a timeout from Burswood. You called it, Lucas, and the score is 23-17. With 5 minutes and 16 seconds left in the first half.
Abe Kassab needs right now to make sure he sits these guys down, talks about shot selection, talks about floor spacing, and talks about the ability to get people shots when they are playing against players that can't quite defend them. I would really like to see Christine Boyd in a 4-out, 1-in situation, purely and simply against Kate Simkovic. Wait for the defense to double or wait for the defense to move. That then allows the players on the outside, such as Jenny Bedford, such as Brooke Hiddleston, to take shots and to gain open shots, which they haven't had a lot of so far in the second quarter. See, my Dead Set heroes, you know Marv Albert, I love Marv Albert.
Have you ever heard Hot Rod Hundley?
No.
He does all the Utah games, not even here.
Yeah.
I've got a game with him at home, Lakers versus Utah. Sorry, Lakers versus Portland. He does all the Portland games.
Yeah.
And it's from 1989. Western Conference semis, Lakers Portland.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's a classic one. Big Sam Bowie out of Kentucky. Twice a broken leg. He's got the soft cast. He's got that real hazy voice. Bedford inbounds for the Redbacks.
Kylie Amiot back in the game for the Redbacks.
Amiot did some good things in that first quarter with the limited minutes that she did have. Bedford having totally free-for-all on that baseline and just able to pitch it back out to Boyd, who had basically a free throw to convert.
Much better spacing there, much better spacing, and that creates shots for people such as Christine Boyd.
Katie Reid looking to get a backdoor opportunity, and that was what McClure was looking for, but the pass was deflected. Bedford had Hiddleston running, couldn't find her. And they're getting some nice movement, bit of body from Simkovic there on Boyd, and the foul is called.
Quite possibly it does look like Abe Kasaba's decided to go with Boyd. Last twice down the floor she's touched it, jump shot. That time they were definitely looking to isolate for her in the block against Kate Simkovic.
The substitution for the Hawks. Out comes Kim Morecambe and in comes Tanya Kelly. Very similar types of players being substituted there, so no change in strategy for the Lady Hawks. Amiot looking to penetrate, nothing there. Boyd comes into the high post.
They want to clear her out against Kate Simkovic.
Reid giving Bedford a hard time, double teamed on the pass. Tanya Kelly came down and tried to get the hand in on that entry pass, did a good job, but there's been a foul called.
That surprises me right there, and Jenny is a great friend of mine, but that surprises me, Jenny throwing a bounce pass into a 6'4" centre. Is that, as far as I can see, you need to throw that up in the air, let her grab that, let her go to work.
Boyd misses the first of two shots. So no reward there from the line for Burswood, and they needed those points. They trail by 6, 25-19 with 4 minutes 16 left in the second quarter.
We're going to be looking to reverse this. This will be a flex cut again coming for Tanya Kelly off a screen here for Simkovic. Here we go, seeing letting her go to work there. That's what they were looking for. They ran that flex cut and get Kate Simkovic to down screen and let that person come off. It's commonly referred to as a screen the screener. They must feel that Tanya Kelly can take her off the dribble.
Well, there's no doubt that Perry Lakes look a lot better when they do get that ball movement. They get that motion happening. Melissa McClure has been quiet so far, though.
I think, though, defensively she's done a great job in this second quarter, is that she's rotating between playing against Hiddleston and also Boyd. But I think now she has shut Hiddleston down, and Brooke looks a little bit frustrated in the offensive end.
Now McClure goes into the post, and just having said that things had been quiet, Burswood gambled on the defence and gambled on trying to steal that entry pass, and it left an uncontested layup there for Melissa McClure.
I think she heard you right then.
Someone has to hear me.
On cue, she decided to lay the ball up.
And I do certainly take your point there that with McClure defending Hiddleston, all you really need to do with Burswood is remove one of those key people. You've got Bedford, you've got Boyd and Hiddleston. If you can remove one of those three, it really does affect their ability to score.
Absolutely. Bedford is not renowned as being a quality top scorer. I mean, she is averaging 12.73 points per game. She's third in the WSBL. However, that's not on a consistent basis. A lot of times Jenny will pop up for 20. Next time she'll be having 5 or 6. So it really depends. And tonight it looks like she's come to play in the true point guard position, looking to handle the ball. Not so much a scorer, but looking to handle more often than not. talk for to talk about when it's done?
Just we will talk about when we go to the course. It's so tight for time. We'll just do it.
Gotcha.
So 3:32 left until halftime. At halftime, we'll be announcing All-Stars for the Skywest Masters.
So Perry Lakes have managed to get it out to a 8-point lead, and signs are looking dangerous now for the Redbacks as McClure goes again on a nice lob entry pass and goes in for an easy uncontested layup. Dangerous signs here for Burswood.
We've got a couple of subs coming in shortly. Now, again, here we go. Perry Lakes on the run.
And Tanya Kelly chooses to pull it out.
That'll go.
Breeze Drew, down it goes. Well, Lucas, you said that she was a good three-point shooter, and we saw evidence of that there.
I would be very, very concerned as a Redback coach. I know I've said that now 3 or 4 times, but the signs are not looking good at all. Some people, starting to get behind the Hawks in the crowd, and things are starting to be troublesome for the Redbacks.
Bedford on a nice interior pump fake. Makes the nice short jump shot. The Redbacks look like they went into a 1-4 offensive set there. Simkovic inside but can't score. You've got to really wonder whether that appendix it's going to affect the extension on that shot, isn't it? Just to stretch out.
Absolutely. I, in all honesty, right now, I think Simkovic is just about done. She's come in, she's played some great D. She's done a few very, very good things as a smart player in this league. But I think it's about time possibly get Kelly McGee back in the game to defend her. And looking over the bench, it actually looks like that is happening now. McGee is set to check in.
Tegan Walker ends up on the floor. And Burswood have been a little sloppy the last few times down the floor. This is what they want inside. Hiddleston can get that every time. And a bit of stability there for a score, but the Hawks are really running out of defence, Lucas, aren't they?
In the pre-game, we did talk about that one of the keys to beating this Perry Lakes team was the ability to slow the guards up and make the guards walk the ball up the floor. In this last 3 minutes or so in this second quarter, the likes of Tanya Kelly, Preece Drew, as well as Kim Morecambe have been able to advance the ball at their own speed, which makes it tough to defend.
Now, Burswood have made a substitution. They brought in Gillian Hendry for Brooke Hiddleston. So that does change the look of the side somewhat.
Melissa Dunn has also looked like Melissa Dunn's come in. Melissa Dunn is number 15 for the Redbacks. She is quite an underplayed player. She brings some quality things to their lineup, and I really don't think, from what I've seen in the league this year, that she's been used enough.
Tanya Kelly scored a nice jump shot on a nice pass from Kelly McGee. And in goes Bedford into the low post. Tough turnaround jump shot. And McGee again comes up with the rebound, and gee, they run well off that defensive board. And Kelly went to the hole there and got fouled by Bedford, so she'll go to the line for 2. And the lead is out to 11. Minute 14 left in the first half.
That again, even though she didn't score that basket right there, Marcus, is her ability to run the ball up the floor and push the ball as a team. The Perry Lakes do that quite well, and it makes things tough for defenders. Jenny Bedford had to give up a cheap foul right there. She thought it was all ball, but it's still a foul. We get 2 shots for it.
The first one drops for Kelly. So 1 of 2 there from the line, and Bedford again bringing it up, and very heavily reliant on Bedford. You wonder if fatigue will be a factor in the end for her as well, especially seeing as how she's being held accountable defensively as well.
In the last round that was played against Willetton, is Jenny Bedford towards the end of each of the games was very heavily puffing and panting. She has played a hell of a lot of games in these final series. The last 3 she was played by one of the best defensive players in the league. For Willetton, and was basically run from pillar to post.
Well, she's got Tegan Walker now. McClure looking to get something happening down in the low post. Long shot falls, and it was a 3-pointer from Walker. And it's been a devastating burst over the last 5 minutes of playing time. 38-23, the lead's gotten out to 15. And another turnover there for the Redbacks. We're going to have to check that stat at half-time. How many turnovers have been rung up there? But only 24 seconds left in this half, and if they're not careful, this one will all be over.
I'm looking at the benches right now. Having a look at the Perry Lakes bench, and they've got every right to be up and down making some noise, but They are really, really active, and I'm looking over at the Redbacks bench. You've got a couple of young kids on the end clapping and giving support, but really they're very flat.
And an offensive foul call on Bedford. Did look like she got the head and shoulders around on that dribble there, but it certainly did look like a charge, probably from the referee's angle on that other side of the court.
Tough call. I mean, you know, I don't know how good a position Walker had there, but I do know that Jenny Bedford, you know, is very, very readable with that footwork of hers. So quite possibly Walker might have read it before it happened and judged the thing. You're going to look for Walker on the weak side here to shoot this ball. Prees Drew instead.
And that is half-time at Perry Lakes Stadium in the grand final of the WSBL. Perry Lakes have shot out to lead it by 15 points, 38-23.
Set for half number 2 of the championship half for the Sky West Basketball League for the season 2001, the women's division. The winner of tonight being presented with the Champions Trophy after the game. The Hawks lead 38-23.
Okay, so we get to the start of the third quarter. Perry Lakes Lady Hawks lead it by 15. Now, Lucas, they've got it out to a real margin here. And let's talk stats now. What have you got for us?
All right, just looking at the first thing we want to talk about here is the turnovers. Now, Redbacks now have amassed 14 turnovers, and it looks like things are just going to start off where they left off, is that Tegan Walker on the run there. But the turnovers right now, we've got Bedford with 5 turnovers, also Amiot. Looking at the Redbacks scoring, they have only 3 scorers, and that is Christine Boyd, Brooke Hiddleston, and also Jenny Bedford. We need to get Amiot, you need to get Amiot, you need to get Goddard scoring. Looking up at the Perry Lakes really quickly, we've got Morecambe with 8, Tanya Kelly with 7, also Melissa McClure with 8. At the moment, is the Redbacks are leading the rebounding by 4, but at the moment they ain't getting it done.
It's not how, it's how many. In the end, McClure with a bank shot from about 10 feet out, can't score, and Bedford comes away with it.
This first 5 minutes right here is priority for the Redbacks. They need to make sure they get to start pecking into this lead. Instead of being 15, if they can go in 3 minutes to go and they're down by 4 or 5, they've got a real good chance.
Boyd with a lovely move inside, that little baseline spin, little drop step, and up it goes. Oh, bad pass there from Tegan Walker.
Surely Marcus, that Christine Boyd has not had enough of the ball.
Well, every time she gets it and she's isolated down there, she just owns the court. You know, there's no one who can defend her there. Look at it, here we go. She can basically take a pick. She was fouled there. Long distance shot there from Brooke Goddard, and that's exactly what we were talking about, Lucas. They need to get some other offensive sources. I think that's the only score they've had from someone other than the big 3 in the Redbacks in this whole game.
And that was totally caused by Christine Boyd again. She's gotten the ball. Everyone knew. Here they go. Redbacks back in town right here. But it's all through Christine Boyd. She has scored. She's taken the steal at this end of the floor, and she's distributing the ball well. She's here to play in the second half, Christine Boyd.
And McClure, with ice in her veins, nails it from about 16 feet, and that really silenced the Redbacks bench. They were starting to get a bit more vocal there. And that's like a knife through the heart, that easy top of the key jumper when you've worked so hard. And now the Hawks are running again. Got the fast break happening. And Morecambe inside looked like she was fouled. No foul called though. And the Redbacks have got a chance. They could have paid the penalty there, but after that McClure jump shot, perhaps Perry Lakes didn't punish them as much as they possibly could have. Big screen there from Boyd. She's working hard. Oh, unlucky there from Boyd. She worked hard and wasn't able to maintain possession there.
The last 2 entries at this point in time is the Redbacks guards are throwing the ball inside of Christine Boyd at terrible angles. She needs to get the thing from the wing or from the top there, with making sure that she has got a good seal. The last twice the ball's been thrown inside, it's been from terrible angles and has made it very, very tough for her to control the ball.
Well, Perry Lakes obviously very concerned with this juncture in the game, the way it's going, so they've called a timeout. They still lead by 10 with 7 minutes and 19 left in the third quarter.
I would suggest right here that Rick Morecambe would be talking, and from looking at his actions here from up at the top of the commentary position, is it looks like he's talking about putting some pressure on the ball of the passer. Now that's the other thing, is if they do get good angles, the Redbacks, and they do get the opportunity to throw the ball inside, if there is no pressure on the ball deliverer, it is quite easy for Christine Boyd to get the ball and score.
So Walker to inbound.
Burswood's gone to a 2-3 zone. They tend to do this a fair bit in the second half of games. Now, this is something that they need to be very, very wary of against the Hawks. They can sit in it for a few minutes, but they need to get out of it relatively quickly, because if Perry Lakes gets into a groove, it's going to be tough to defend.
Well, they're opening them up there, but they weren't able to convert. The defence was like the parting of the Red Sea. Wonderful pass from Bedford, but they can't score at the other end. And now it's Perry Lakes that are running. And Tegan Walker holds it up. Oh, they're moving the ball at will. If that falls, it really deserved it. Oh, big rebound from Boyd. She really is the Rock of Gibraltar in there, isn't she?
Christine Boyd, as we say, she's here to play. She's really here to play. But I'm having a look at the Burswood players again. They're struggling to get up and down the floor, as we talked about in the first bit. It's not the wishes of Abe Kassab, the head coach, to have Christine Boyd, Brooke Hiddleston, Jenny Bedford running sprints for 40 minutes.
Well, there's a mismatch here. McGee on Bedford, but they don't go to it. They use McClure, who gets her own offensive board, but probably would have been better advised to dump it in there to McGee, who could have just posted up Bedford.
It'll be actually interesting to see right here is that we've got Jenny Bedford. She only has one personal foul. It looks to me that they could have been hiding her down the bottom of that zone. Now, I'm wondering what the purpose of that is. It could be to double team the bigs when they get the ball on the inside, but I'd like to see her at the top of the floor and maybe Goddard down low.
They go inside to Hiddleston in the low post, and she picks up where she left off. She has been able to score in spurts, but just hasn't been able to assert that dominance that we know that she can. Very open jump shot there on the corner. Perry Lakes fighting in there to try and get an offensive rebound, and we're going to jump it up.
I think I've said this about half a dozen times now. The Burswood Redbacks will not win if they continue playing at this pace of the game. If they are continually getting up and down the floor against the Perry Lakes Hawks, they will safely win this thing, and by a very, very big margin.
It's just all a little bit too comfortable. They're getting good looks, good safe shots that you're going to say that with the law of averages, it's got to take effect soon, and they're going to start to make a lot more of those shots. And probably it'd be fair to say that Burswood are lucky to be as close as they are at this point in time.
Interesting call there. Could have been a touch soft. Don't like to criticise the referees, because the referees have done a great job this year in the Sky West Basketball League. However, that could have been a soft call.
Well, Boyd almost paid the penalty of not watching the man in the ball there. Just had her eye on Melissa McClure, and McClure almost drove the ball straight past. Yeah, definite foul there on Tegan Walker. Really obstructing the movement of Jenny Bedford.
Interesting inclusion in the SBL or the WSBL All-Star team that was announced at half-time of this game is the players on the floor here who are in that team: Jenny Bedford, Tegan Walker, Christine Boyd, and also Melissa McClure.
Oh, Boyd has a clear path to the basket. That was a guaranteed score. McGee got a little bit high on the trying to deny the entry pass to Boyd, and then wasn't able to rotate back to the baseline, and it just left the way open for an easy score. Perry Lakes just looking a fraction messy at the moment, although they're great on the offensive glass. Boyd managing to pull that down again.
Christine Boyd is absolutely everywhere. She's pulling down every single rebound that comes, every opportunity she gets. She's keeping them in this ball game and really, really clawing them back into this competition.
Well, she had 7 boards at half-time, and you'd have to say that she's had 3 or 4 more since then. So the way she's going, if she can keep this pace up, she's heading for certainly more than 15. And Amy had on a lovely penetration, but she lost the handle. And that was a real, well, they managed to come up with the ball, but it was a real tragedy there because she executed a lovely spin move going to the paint there.
That is Amy is a solid player in this league, but from what I've seen so far of Amy this year, she can come out and be in control or out of control. Now, that was possibly a true description of what she does as a basketballer. She was in total control of that ball, went to spin, and lost control of everything. Now she tends to do that. She does bring some positive things to this Redback team, but occasionally does lose control.
4 minutes 59 left in the third quarter. Bedford got stripped on the way up, managed to come up with it again, and she got fouled. So the Redbacks hanging in here, Lucas. It's only 8 points. If they can maintain their composure, go through a few more good sets, and be within 5 points, say at three-quarter time, anything can happen. You know, they managed to jump Perry Lakes last year in a very similar situation to this. Perry Lakes came into that game expecting to win it and weren't able to do it.
If we have a look at the way this game's gone so far, the first quarter was very, very tight. That consisted of most of the play being both of the starting fives from each group. When we get in the second quarter, the depth of the Perry Lakes Hawks started to shine through when you're bringing in the likes of Prees Drew, who hit a couple of three-pointers out there. Also Katie Reed and Kate Simkovich, where now the Redbacks go to their bench. I think they might struggle here to be able to maintain this. They might stay for now, but I think the last quarter will show the lack of depth that they have.
Well, McGee had it all too easy in there. She was just too big. Was able to just basically put that ball in the hole with no opposition. Boyd still looks in good physical shape though. She's very, very positive making the move there. But McClure with excellent defence, as we've come to expect from her over the last few seasons. Boyd with a tough shot. She had a lot of attention focused on it there and still managed to put it down. And Burswood are back to within 7. McClure on the glass. Steady as always.
That's true Perry Lakes basketball. Rebound, run the floor. We're looking here again, as we continue to say, Marcus, is Brooke Hiddleston, Christine Boyd are struggling physically right here to get up and down the floor. Coach Kassab probably needs to make a sub, probably needs to get Sarah Thompson in here or even Melissa Dunn to possibly give Hiddleston a couple of minutes break, then needs to get Boyd a rest a little bit later on in this quarter.
An absolutely critical juncture of the game here. The gap is 9 points with 4 minutes left. This could either be a 3-point lead or a 15-point lead, depending on which way the next 4 minutes go. And Burswood are certainly going to be trying to get that reduced to under 5, this lead to under 5 points by three-quarter time. Bedford looking to get a screen roll happening with Boyd. Boyd rolled, but Bedford didn't see it. Oh, she's seen it now. Jump shot, no good. What a shame. It was a very well executed play. Hiddleston's in there trying to get the rebound, but McClure's strong.
Layup. Dribbles
it out, and we've got a 4-on-2 and probably a good foul in the end because the Redbacks had absolutely no answer to that fast break.
From knowing what Coach Rick Morecambe, who is the new coach, the new head coach of the Women's National League team that we're playing here in Perth, from looking at the cross-training that he's done with his Perry Lakes girls this year, they're extremely fit. They've done a lot of boxercise, they've done a lot of different alternative methods of training that have made them fit, and we can see that with the way they run the floor and the way they play their basketball.
Monster rebound inside from probably the smallest girl on the court, Kim Morecambe. Just a fantastic effort to get off the ground, and you don't expect the small people to get in there and get those rebounds, but boy, they're an added bonus when the guards rebound well. Hiddleston squares up and jumps it out from about 8 feet. And the Redbacks are hanging in there. It's shaping that it's going to be a close game. And Simkovich has snuck back on the court. I didn't notice that. And she's picked up the scoring challenge. 52 points to 41. 2 minutes 47 left in the third.
The ball needs to get to Christine Boyd. Continuously, we've taken some bad shots right here. The last one that Hiddleston made was not a great shot. It needs to go inside to Christine Boyd.
And again, we saw the attempted pass there from McClure to try and initiate that Perry Lakes Lady Hawks fast break that they're looking to do the damage through. Simkovich makes that long skip pass and McClure jumps it from 15 feet. No. And Boyd again with a huge rebound. Just completely dominant on the glass. Amy at net with it now, almost with an over and back. Tough shot inside and down it goes. And Burswood continue to hang in there.
They just brought the lead back under double figures. This has got to be a promising sign. However, Katie Reed continues to get open in the offensive end. If Abe Kassab is not going to sub right now, he needs to at least take a timeout because some of his quality players are extremely tired and are struggling right now.
A little under 2 minutes to go in the third. Dribble penetration inside. Amiet's got it. Puts it up, no score. Looks like we're going to be a side ball here. I think the shot was waved off there. And sure enough, it's possession only. Got a double substitution. It looks like Helen Vlahoff and
Melissa Dunn.
Gillian Hendry, is it? No?
Melissa Dunn. Yep. Melissa Dunn checking in. As well as, again, Rick Morecambe deciding to go offense for defense. He brings in Prees Drew and takes out Tegan Walker.
Now I think what Abe Kassab's doing here is he's resting Hiddleston for a big final quarter, trying to use that extra 2 minutes, because these last 2 minutes can take a long time in these sorts of games. And Bedford scores too, and the Redbacks are in this, I tell you. They're close enough if they're good enough.
Melissa Dunn is a player that from what I've seen so far in this league, does not get enough time. She's a quality player that can shoot the ball, she can rebound the ball, and as we see now, she's running the floor on the weak side, making some people play against her.
Bedford on a step through. Step through to the left hand, Jenny Bedford take a bow. Wonderful move.
Marcus, we got some life in the game.
Well, this is shaping to be a real contest in this last quarter now. And I tell you what, I think Perry Lakes have been missing this girl, Simkovic. It's maybe perhaps starting to tell now.
I think you're right, and I mean, she is in the game, and obviously Coach Morecambe knows that. But the thing that's impressing me at the moment is the tight zone defence that they're playing down there in Burswood, is that they've got some unusual ways that they're rotating. Their left hand, the left hand player at the top is sinking way down inside to try and stop that the high-low pass from Melissa McClure to Kate Simkovic, and it's working at the moment.
Simkovic solid as a rock from the line on that first shot. And she ices 2 of 2, and I think Perry Lakes perhaps need to look to do a bit more dribble penetration, although they've given up a 2-on-1 here, which is an absolute gimme. Helen Vlahoff lays it up, and with a minute to go, it's only 7 points, 56-49.
Perry Lakes look like they've decided off a made free throw. Now this is something that I believe they've been using for a fair bit of the season. Off a made free throw, they're going into a 1-2-1-1 full court. It almost looks like a 1-2-2 at some points in time. What happens is if the Burswood Redbacks are able to break that, as we've seen just end through the middle of the floor, they can get open layups. Now that's something that they need to have in the floor, and I think it's actually a good move to do that, to try and run the rest of the energy out of the Burswood legs in this last 58 seconds.
I'll tell you who's owned this quarter. It's been Boyd. I can't wait to see the rebound stats at three-quarter time for her. I think if she hasn't grabbed, I would say she's grabbed at least 5 or 6 this quarter, which is just an outstanding effort. And she has kept them in this game. And if they do win in the end, Burswood, it's a bit early to start talking about that yet. But the fact that they even have a chance is purely down to Boyd's play in this third quarter.
Good read there by Helen Vlahoff. She saw the defense coming right there to come and double team against Christine Boyd, and she walked away. I think that was terrible play there. Gillian Henry needed to dump that inside to Boyd because it was cleared out totally for her.
Now I think Perry Lakes perhaps are going to look to get some inside action happening, because if they can get to the foul line, I think it will steady them offensively.
There's that player sinking low again. Bedford sinking right down low to pinch on the weak side.
They certainly did go inside there, and Simkovic came up with 2. 10 seconds left. It's a 10-point lead. And they go into Boyd. They go to the well once more, and she's come up again.
Every time she touches the ball, she makes things happen. There is no question asked that this has been Christine Boyd's quarter. They need to get her the ball. She's touching a thing, making the defense play her, and if she is not able to hit someone who's open, she's putting the thing in the hole herself.
So at three-quarter time, it's an 8-point lead to Perry Lakes, 59-51. She obviously doesn't attack the glass.
Which will decide this year's champion, Scotland's basketball women's.
Yep. Well, away we go for the fourth quarter, and it looks like it's going to be an absolute corker, this last one. Lucas, I tell you what, the reason that Burswood are in this game is we were talking they had to shut down the big three, and Perry Lakes just haven't been able to do that, have they?
No, they haven't. They've come back and looking at the scoreboard here. We've got 14 points for Boyd and Bedford and Hiddleston. They are the big three. You need to shut down. That was owned by Christine Boyd. Christine Boyd now has 13 rebounds, 14 points, and 2 block shots. That was her quarter.
I would like to see Boyd go a little bit more to the offensive glass. I know we're asking a lot of one person, but all of those 13 boards were defensive. And I just would like to think that Burswood can get some scoring action from her going to the glass and getting some missed shots.
Absolutely. And that's something that we talked about beforehand, just right there in that last possession. Melissa Dunn hitting from the inside. Katie Reed again. Katie Reed has absolutely dominated in the offensive end. I don't think she's missed a shot to this point in the game.
Well, it's still at 8 points. Boyd goes to the top. They're moving it around.
It's got to go to Christine Boyd right here.
Boyd got absolutely bodied out of that contest by McClure. McClure just moved her off the block. And who's got it? Looks like McClure's come up with it, but it was Drew that got that steal. Oh, very open. Morecambe for three, and she cans it.
I know it's early to call this, but I think that could be the last nail in the coffin right there. I think that the Redbacks starting to kick. Having a look at their bench right now, it is absolutely dead. No one's moving anywhere. I think Gillian Henry probably doesn't need to be in the game at this point in time. I think he needs to get Hiddleston back in. She definitely needs to make sure that we get an extra scorer on the floor.
Tough move to the basket there.
I can't understand, Marcus, why Christine Boyd is not getting the ball. Is that she is not even getting into positions where she can look to score or look for them to give her the ball.
Well, Melissa Dunn is a tower of strength on that play. She absolutely flattened one of the Perry Lakes girls. And they've just got to get some inside action, Burswood. Too far from the basket there to do anything, Boyd.
This is perfect right here, is that we get into a position where she can look to score if she gets the ball. That's much better spacing. However, I think that should have gone inside to Boyd.
Oh, McClure picked that one up and she knew it. And we've got a subs. It looks like McGee's coming in for Perry Lakes. But she's going to be beaten by a timeout. So 7:41 left in the final quarter. It's an 11-point lead to Perry Lakes, 64-53.
I think Kate Simkovich might be done. I think that she's done for the night. She's moved to the end of the bench. She's checking out her stitches. She's in trouble. As I said, she's had some... had her gear out. She's had a towel in there to make sure she covers any bleeding. Now, I'm looking at what's been taken off. There's some blood there, so she's obviously in trouble with what's going on. She quite possibly could have popped open the stitches or done something. I don't think we'll see her again for the rest of the game.
Well, 7:41 left to go in the game, and it's now or never for Burswood. Bedford brings it up. They've really got to put a run on of 6 or 7 points here unanswered to try and get back in this contest quickly. So you wouldn't want to be down, Lucas, by any sort of margin coming into the final few minutes, would you?
I have a real concern right here for who Coach Kassab's got on the floor. I think still Melissa Dunn has come in. She hit that turnaround. She did a couple of good things defensively. She's been taken out again. Quite possibly she could be still on the floor. Gillian Henry maybe needs to get off the floor here. We need to get possibly Brooke Goddard back in the game.
Hiddleston in the post against McClure. They square up. McClure stripped her right down the front. Clean as a whistle. There's a foul. Frustration foul there from Hiddleston. And that said a lot, that play there, Lucas. McClure was able to body up and didn't concede any ground and managed to strip her right down the front there.
No, that was Melissa McClure read it like a book. Is that Brooke Hiddleston is well known for going to the middle of the floor whenever she shoots the ball. McClure was waiting there for her. Good to see Kate Simkovich rejoining the team on the bench too. She is not in a good way.
McGee inside, just too strong for Hiddleston. Scored on an overhead pass there, lob pass. And Bedford trying to get some sort of control, and if she doesn't get some sort of control into this offense and they don't get a score on this next trip down, one might think that it's going to be too much. They're down by 13 now, Burswood. Boyd's going to have an easy score here. And it's down, and she's going to try and convert that for a three-point play, and boy, did they need that.
Marcus, it proves what we were saying before, is that every time Christine Boyd has touched the ball, she's done something. The last 6 or 7 minutes of this game, they have gone away from Boyd. Everybody else trying to shoot the ball, everybody else trying to get some things done. Hey, the girl's 6'4", throw her the ball, let her see what she can do, and then everybody else move and see if she can get you the ball if she ain't going to score herself.
Boyd can't make the third. Well, one of the other things about Boyd is she's maybe 6'4", but look at the length of the arms. I mean, she's got the arms of someone a lot taller than 6'4". So she should be able to reach over the back and not commit those fouls. And look at that, just praying mantis-like arms.
The scary thing is, Marcus,
Stop it.
she's still growing.
That's quite terrifying concept. We'll leave that alone. McClure on a huge block shot.
That's a tough
Oh,
ball
wow.
right there.
Gosh, that looked clean as a whistle to me. Is it a body foul or is it hands?
The shot was blocked. Now what happens is that as Brooke Hiddleston was falling to the floor, she
I
might have
see.
connected with Melissa McClure. Now that's a pretty tough call. I think you got to let that go. As Melissa McClure was not impeded, she was going to be able to throw that pass to a guard and continue on with the offense. Not sure if that's the way to go.
McClure is one of the best intimidators in the league too. I think she's averaging 4 or 5 blocks a game. So I think that's the first we've seen from her tonight. Looks like Vlahov's picked up the foul there.
The teams are getting together here in 2 separate huddles. Now you'd be inside the Perry Lakes lineup right now. You'd be having Melissa McClure and Kim Morecambe. Actually, if Kim Morecambe was on the floor, she'd be taking control. Melissa McClure would be telling them, space the floor, spread the ball, and just work at some patient things. While in the Redbacks camp, Jenny Bedford would be explaining that we need to get the ball inside. Jenny is quite a smart player, is actually an assistant coach of this Perth Redbacks team, so she's going to be telling them to get the ball inside to Boyd.
Oh, manhandle inside was Vlahov by Tanya Kelly.
I think he needs to make sure that he goes with someone a little bit bigger right here. I think Tanya Kelly's got to come out. As we say that, Tegan Walker's coming back into the game. Should be for Tanya Kelly, I would imagine, to stop that mismatch. Actually, no. Okay, so I would imagine right here they could swap over.
Well,
Katie Reid out of the game.
This setup for Burswood also looks ominous. We've got Boyd and Hiddleston setting up on the low post. Oh, Boyd, nice fake. Tough shot, though. Very flat. It looks like it had a hand on it.
Not the shot that you'd want your big 6'4" centre to be taking with 5 minutes 26 left in the grand final.
Now, can Perry Lakes put Burswood away? No. Helen Vlahov with a top steal. Gives it up to Goddard, who has controlled play for Burswood. Looks like she's relieved Jenny Bedford of those duties to try and give her some time, just to sort of regather herself and get her breath back. Tough work inside. We've got a foul called. Looks like it's going to go Perry Lakes' way.
I understand.
Maybe not, maybe not.
I understand the importance of Brooke Hiddleston as a player for the Perth Redbacks. However, right at this point in time, I think she actually needs to step to the outside. Well, she'll be leaving the game with 5 fouls. So that I suppose answers that question and makes it a hell of a lot tougher for the Redbacks.
Well, Hiddleston really hasn't had a tremendous game here tonight. 14 points. Well, that's about normal. I guess that's about what she would be averaging, maybe a little under, but not too bad. But in terms of the defensive glass, they really didn't get a lot from her. Got about 3 or 4 rebounds, and that's really not going to get the job done against this Perry Lakes outfit.
Give credit where it's due right there, as Melissa McClure has been defending her for a margin of the night. Melissa McClure is an exceptional defensive player and has really shut her down. I would actually like to see Melissa this year in the WNBL take another step and become one of the league's elite players. Where she's dominated the league here, she needs to do that and switch that across to the WNBL.
Prees drew outside, gives it inside to McGee. McGee probably had a shot or a move on Boyd there. McClure, that looks like it could be money. No. Big defensive rebound inside, though.
Melissa Dunn doing a great job again.
Fantastic
and as I
board.
say, needs to play more time, this girl. I think next year, she needs to be starting with this group and getting a hell of a lot more time than what she possibly could have been doing this year. This is where they've got to go. They've got the double team now. You need to get someone's open.
Helen Vlahov takes the shot. Oh, look at that offensive glass work there by Dunn, I think it was. Inside again.
Interesting shot. If there was no foul call there was quite an interesting body movement being seen.
Oh, McGee, an easy shot, couldn't make it. And Perry Lakes just can't put them away, although time is now the enemy of Burswood, and that might be enough.
What has hurt them here, Marcus, is as we stated, when they came out, when when the Redbacks came out in 2-3 zone, I did state that they need to get out of that pretty quickly. They need to stay in it and get out of it, not let the Perry Lakes team get into a rut of playing against the same defence all the time. They've done that, and in this last 5 minutes, they've really been put away.
Yeah, they've got a 2-on-1 here if they're quick enough, and Perry Lakes have seen it. And Prees Drew has put it away, and I think she might have put the Redbacks away with that shot. It's now out to 15 with 3 minutes and 9 left in the fourth quarter, and I think that's going to be enough for Perry Lakes. Bedford tries to pull some heroics there, and does on the right hand, but it may be too little too late. Tanya Kelly's been very solid for the Lady Hawks tonight.
They've maintained this 2-3 zone, as just stated, for far too long. Perry Lakes just treating this defence with disdain, doing whatever they feel like they want to do. The key to beating Perry Lakes is play different forms of defence for different periods of time. Don't let them get into a rut.
And the foul's been called there. Bedford was hacked, it looks like. Let's see who they've called it on. Looks like Melissa McClure. Hands over. Well, it stops the clock, Lucas. It gives them a chance.
Substitution for the Hawks too. Kim Morecambe and Prees Drew, both sisters, both daughters of head coach Rick Morecambe. So one sister, the younger sister, coming in for the older sister at this point in time.
So it's 13 points the gap. Perry Lakes by 13, 2 minutes 32 left in the match.
Really? I love that guy. He's great.
So the Redbacks inbound the ball. This is their last roll of the dice. They need to get a roll on here.
That's a foul.
No call though. Boyd chasing her first offensive board of the game. Couldn't come up with it, but Burswood have maintained possession. And Bedford looking to get some sort of penetration, but there's just no openings for it. Good ball movement though. Goddard with an open shot. Oh, no roll. But Boyd gets the offensive board. Oh, just no roll there, and McClure runs it away. But it's turned over. Steal there to Bedford. And they've really got to move this ball quickly and get some good shots quickly. Bedford with the air ball. And I don't think it's going to be Burswood's night tonight, Lucas.
No, I just think that the lack of depth, as I said from the start, has changed things up here. They've played a maximum of 7, possibly 8 players. Someone who was new to the Burswood club was Martine Pearman. Now, Martine Pearman was in the WNBL squad last year. Now she's had a fairly disappointing year and hasn't played many minutes at all, and has not hit the floor tonight, and was left out of the incomplete series against Willetton.
Helen Vlahov fouled there. And one of the things I think that has really turned this game around was we saw Christine Boyd with a wonderful third quarter, but it's been a forgettable fourth quarter for her. I think she spent a lot of beans in that third quarter, and she just hasn't been able to back it up and continue on with that performance into the fourth.
Absolutely, and Christine Boyd is a typical big girl. Now, when I say typical, that's not being rude to Christine. She's a big girl that is quite effective when she gets the ball in the half court and gets to work against somebody. Perry Lakes is jam-packed full of unconventional big girls such as Melissa McClure, who runs the floor quite well, Kelly McGee, who does the same, even Kate Simkovich to some extent that gets up and down the floor. So it's been a hard night for her.
And Burswood zigged when they should have zagged there, and the ball's gone out and hit the first row of sponsors. So just running down time now, 58 seconds. It's going to be Perry Lakes' championship, and you'd have to say a deserved winner of this championship. They've really dominated the league this season. We're untroubled in the semi-finals coming through, and the game's pretty much gone according to form, hasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, they only lost the one game for the year. They were beaten by Coburn at Coburn. Coburn, who was a group who worked very, very hard as a team to come out and play against people, rolled over and knocked over the Hawks. But since then, haven't really been troubled. Have dealt out quite big defeats to the Redbacks, to the other contenders such as Willetton, such as also breezed through the series against Rockingham with a couple of 50-point wins. So congratulations to the Hawks. I know it's premature with 42 seconds to go, but congratulations to them, to head coach Rick Morecambe, and to also the team.
Now, at this point in the game, it's probably appropriate to start talking about game MVPs. If we assume the MVP is going to come from the winning team, who would you be suggesting here?
It's a tough call. I mean, it's along the scoring lines, a few people have done some pretty good things. I've been pretty impressed with Kelly McGee's game. Now, I'm not going to say I'm going to give her an MVP award, but she's played a pretty good game. Tegan Walker's played a pretty solid game also, but I think it has to go to Melissa McClure. Purely and simply, as defensively, she did a fairly good job. The other person who I haven't mentioned who has impressed me today better than any other game I've seen her play is Katie Reid. Katie Reid, I think, was a big difference in blowing this game open with her great shooting from all around the field.
Well, for mine, I'm going to come out and say it. I think Melissa McClure is an absolute shoo-in for this MVP, and for a couple of reasons. Firstly, the defensive effort you pointed out before, a huge collision there between Helen Vlahov and Pries Drew. But I think the job that, and there it is, I think the job that Hiddleston had done on her by Melissa McClure was telling, because they just didn't get enough from her in the end, from Hiddleston, to be able to have an impact on the game. And if you look at the rebound count, McClure at three-quarter time had 11 rebounds, and she's probably ended up with 15 or so by full time. So a wonderful performance all round there by Melissa McClure.
I agree, but I want to take my hat off right now to the Burswood Redbacks, and especially Christine Boyd and Jenny Bedford. Jenny Bedford worked extremely hard for that complete game. Christine Boyd was, as you say, super impressive in that third quarter. But congratulations to Prairie Lakes. They deserved the win. They went through the season on top of the ladder, and the championship's theirs.
So now as we get into the presentations, we'll see if our predictions were correct, Lucas, and see who gets the MVP. But yeah, wonderful to see women's basketball in such a strong state talent-wise, isn't it?
Absolutely, and the Prairie Lakes Hawks are a great club. The Burswood Redbacks are a great club also, but the junior development that's going on in Perth at the moment in the women's basketball is exciting. We have a company by the name of Zone Sport running a lot of junior development throughout WA, and we'll be getting involved heavily with the new WNBL team running a lot of female development in this state. So the only way up, now the only way for female basketball in Western Australia is up, especially with this new WNBL team and the development program being run by everybody.
Two MVPs of this year's grand final from the Redbacks, Jenny Bedford, and from the Hawks, Kim Morecambe.
Well, there you go. What do we know, Lucas?
Well, I think it's time for us to hang up the microphones and head home. I don't think I'll get my invite back again.
So we have dual MVPs of the grand final for the WSBL. Jenny Bedford, a repeat winner. She won this award last year also. And Kim Morecambe from the Prairie Lakes Hawks.
Both will be vying for the same position in the new WNBL team. Jenny Bedford with the experience, Kim Morecambe also having played a lot of basketball in Victoria with the Kilsyth Cobras in the Continental Basketball Association as it was. Good to see these two. They're both very, very lovely girls, lovely people, and have worked very, very hard to get to where they're at in their basketball.
Well, a sentimental MVP for Jenny Bedford, I guess, 250 games. A wonderful effort.
Absolutely, and I think possibly also is that Jenny's tossing up with the idea of going around again next year. This possibly maybe might stop it, maybe might let it continue. It's something that Jenny, I know, has to speak about in the next few weeks.
Wonderful scenes down there on the court. Elation for the Prairie Lakes Lady Hawks, and I guess disappointment for the Redbacks. They were hoping to repeat their championship from last year. Not able to do it on this occasion. It's just a case of the Lady Hawks just being a bit too deep in terms of talent.
Be good to see here, yeah. As I thought, is that the Burswood Redbacks starting to head out here now. You know, pretty tough for them to lose the championship, but they need to hold their head high. You know, they've come through. They weren't expected to be here, and they've come through and they've done a great job. You know, it's a credit to head coach Abe Kassab in his first year in the league as a head coach, as well as some of the girls. The veterans played well. Some of the youngsters came through and have done a great job. But it'll be interesting to see next year what the situation is with the Burswood Redbacks.
And there's the Redbacks getting their awards there. Christine Boyd, very influential in the third quarter, gave them a chance going into the fourth.
Just been handed some stats just to go through some of the scorers right here. For the Perry Lakes team, Melissa McClure stands out immediately. She's had 16 points and 18 rebounds, and at 7 of 23 from the field. That is amazing. She had 15 defensive rebounds, and she's done a great job and played the full 40 minutes. She did not get a rest. Kim Morecambe also with 14 points. Possibly that Melissa McClure might have a case for not being decided as the MVP, but the powers that be have chosen, so there we go.
And looking at with interest at Christine Boyd's rebounding stats come to the end of the game, and she ended up with 15 total rebounds, and she had 13 at three-quarter time, so it really was a case of, I think, of her just running out of gas in the end, not able to keep that effort level up just due to fatigue.
Absolutely, and I mean, as we did state before, it's pretty tough for those big girls to get up and down the floor, running wind sprints against these young, fit bigs and young, fit girls from Perry Lakes.
So the Redbacks are just finishing up with being presented with their runner-up medals.
Just looking at the face of Kim Morecambe, and Kim Morecambe's dancing around at the moment, getting very, very excited. That's what this whole league and this whole thing is about, is Kim Morecambe is a veteran in this league. She's a hell of a person. She's worked real hard this year to get to the spot she's at. And she's jumping around. She's ecstatic, smiley. And it's a good family moment for her with her sister Pries Drew in the team, as well as Dad as the coach. It almost reminds me of the Lindsay Gaze, Andrew Gaze situation in Melbourne.
So team photos there for Burswood. Disappointed, but still they did an excellent job to make it to this point in the season. Every other team in the league bar these two didn't get this far, so wonderful effort and a very well-deserved round of applause. And with the runner-up medals having been presented, it's now time to present the winners' medallions and the commemorative trophy to the Perry Lakes Hawks.
Be interesting to see Tanya Kelly's future. Tanya Kelly worked very, very hard as originally a Willetton girl, has moved over to Perry Lakes. It will be interesting to see what her situation is for next year. Tegan Walker tossing up with the idea of heading to the USA, possibly could be her last season with the Perry Lakes, not sure. Nadina Mez coming on the court now. She wasn't picked in this week's group. She's been dominating the Division 1 competition. Also Kim Morecambe, as stated before, great person, captain of this team. Pries Drew, her sister, coming in, great three-point shooter, has done great and has done a great job in this game. Katie Reid, absolutely sensational the way she came in, dominated this game. We're just trying to get at the moment. She went 4 of 6 from the field with 8 points and really, really hit them when they needed to. Kelly McGee, close personal friend of mine. Kelly did a great job. Congratulations to her. She worked hard, and it's great to see someone like her getting recognition for all her hard work. Chelsea Boynich, number 14, young kid she's 16 years old coming in. She's got a long future in this league. Helen Polini, she's been working hard all year, filling the spots where people haven't been doing, making training tough. Kate Simkovich, an absolute veteran of this competition, went through with stitches in her stomach at this point in time. Sean Gray, another youngster, she's come through and done a great job. And the last one, we're waiting for Melissa McClure to come through. We've got the assistant coach coming out. But Melissa McClure, captain of this team, she's done an excellent job in the way to rally these troops, to get them working through the complete year, both on and off the floor. And I really wish Melissa the best of luck going into this next WNBL season. She needs to take that extra step up from being a good player to being a great player. She has the tools to do it. With up there now with head coach Rick Morecambe, who is the new coach of the Women's National League team. It's up to her now to take forward. She's coming forward now to receive the trophy. Well deserved, Melissa. Well done for a great season.
So jubilant scenes here as Perry Lakes accept their medals. It's a long season for these girls.
I think from speaking to a couple of the Willetton players the other evening, they'd worked out that they'd trained 106 times throughout the season without games. Now that's a hell of a long many training sessions. I would be certain the Perry Lakes would be up with that same amount. And with the extra weeks training, you can probably add another 3 or 4 in there. Congratulations to Rick Morecambe. He's a quintessential professional with the way he goes about doing things. Congratulations to him being appointed as the new women's coach, and congratulations on taking home the trophy here with Perry Lakes. He works hard, Rick, in his coaching. He's been doing it over here in Western Australia for many, many years, and congratulations, Rick.
So the Perry Lakes Lady Hawks win the 2001 WSBL Championship, 74 points to 58, ending up running out winners by 16. A wonderful effort. And on behalf of Stickback, I'd certainly like to thank the SkyWest Basketball League for their support in allowing us to bring you this telecast. If you would like to get a copy of this game, of course the game that goes to air is a reduced version due to time constraints. But if you would like to support Stickback and the SkyWest Basketball League, you are able to purchase fully unedited versions of the tapes, and they're available for $20. And part of the proceeds goes to the SkyWest Basketball League to keep them going, and also to Stickback to keep us going for next season as well. So a wonderful game there. Look at if you would like to purchase a tape, please look at the email address that's now appearing on your screen. And we can arrange for that to happen. And also, thank you to Basketball WA for the use of their statistics, and to the website basketballwa.asn.au. So hit that site as much as you can for all your information that you need in terms of basketball in Western Australia. But for now, until tomorrow night when we bring you the men's game, the men's grand final tomorrow between Geraldton and Perry Lakes Hawks again, it's good night from Stickback.
The bar is open.